Hello, everybody. Gabe here with One Leeds. Welcome back to the Fan Phone In. It's been gone for a little while. I chatted with Connor, something we wanted to try out and bring back. We want to welcome you all here on this Sunday evening. Still a lot of fixtures left to go in the Premier League this week, including a very, very important Southampton and Nottingham Forest match tomorrow that has huge implications for Leeds United season. So, what we want to do is we want to hear from you today. We have a couple people waiting to come in, which is great. We're going to bring them in just a few minutes here, but I want to tee off, and I'll post the link there in the chat if you're interested in coming on. We just ask that you keep things PG, but we're here to talk about the Manchester City Leeds United match at the Etihad yesterday, and we want to hear, now that we have a full day of digestion of how things went, we wanted to see how you all felt about it. So listen, and by the way, evening everybody. Just a few of your comments here. Thanks, Jonesy. Allison saying hi to Danny. Nice little community in here. It's heartwarming to see. Right. So everybody, lots of thoughts now. It's been a full day since Leeds United dropped 2-1 to Manchester City. Bit of a difficult match to watch, but a result that wasn't all so bad. So to kick things off, again, I think if you are having a difficult time getting into the green room, click the StreamYard link. I'm going to bring in our first guest, Ethan Hill. Ethan, how you doing? You're live on One Leeds. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, how are you?
Yeah, good. So give us your take on the Man City match. Do you feel more positive about our relegation battle into the next three matches with Big Sam, with what you saw? Talk to us a little bit about how you're feeling now as a Leeds United fan.
What's going on? How why cái cái why cái hà tell in our good. Why do we go gaku cái hà cái good the cookie. It was always 2-0 at half time. It was good. It cookie no at 2-0. The cookie get on the gate. I was talking whole Harry.
Yeah. No, it could have gone a couple of different ways, and I suppose we're happy about the smaller score line. Everybody, today we're going to do it a bit like Talk Sport. We have a bunch of people that are coming in and out. I think, Ethan, before I kind of let you go and move on to our next guest, want to ask you, I mean, we have, there's the Nottingham Forest taking on Southampton tomorrow at 8 p.m. What's your prediction? Do you think Nottingham Forest take 3 points? And how nervous are you?
Yeah, I can knock with Anna. I can knock away. Yeah.
It's dangerous situations for Leeds United. But listen, Ethan, we want to thank you for jumping on the show. I'm going to move along to Richard here. Richard, how you doing, pal?
Not so bad, mate. You?
Yeah, good. What did you make of the match yesterday against Man City, and how do you feel about our prospects going into the last three matches of the season?
I know it wasn't a classic performance, but the team selection was better. We need to stay with three in midfield. No, obviously, Melier needed to be dropped ages ago.
Yeah.
The same with Bamford. He needs to get out of that team. He's useless.
It was a massive difference with Robles, wasn't it? I mean, I tweeted during the match. It was really nice to see a save, because it was a little bit like you come to acutely notice how easy it's been for some of the other sides to just knock something towards the goal and hope it goes in, and many times it has. So that has to be a boost to the back line, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a lot of difference. You know, I think we was a bit more organised. You know, we're lucky we didn't concede 6 or 7, which I thought it might be. But,
yeah,
you know, it's just 1 goal difference that's gone against us now. I'm quite confident we'll beat Newcastle next week, and we'll beat Tottenham at home.
Really? So you're confident in all 3 points, not just like a draw?
No, I reckon we beat them.
Really? Okay. Talk to me about why.
Because after them losing today against Arsenal, I think their bubble's beginning to burst. I know they're a lot better, but a week with Big Sam behind us, I think we'll be more stronger.
Yeah, what did you like about what Big Sam did against Man City? Obviously, there's an asterisk here, right? This is Manchester City, and they're the best team in the world right now. Best team, I think, in in decades in the Premier League. So it's probably in European football, right? We'll see what they win if they come away with a treble. But what did you like about what you saw from Big Sam's team?
We just looked a bit more organised in the three in midfield. I know we got overrun in the first half, but obviously a lot better in the second. You know, coming towards the end, Man City having to play in the corner flag to stop us from breaking away and probably getting another goal. You know, to put Man City on the back foot, you know, something to look forward to.
Yeah, it was a bit of a consolation prize, wasn't it? I mean, obviously, it's not good to drop points. We're never going to celebrate a loss in which we were thoroughly dominated. But it was nice to see at the end that we had some reason for positivity. I guess, you know, I asked the previous caller what he thought about the Forest match coming up with Southampton tomorrow. Does that concern you?
Not really. I do security, and tomorrow I'm at the Brighton Everton game.
All right, nice.
So I'll be doing I'll be in the Brighton end tomorrow, but I'll be down there for that game. So hopefully I'll watch Everton get a bashing.
Where are you right now? It's actually quite nice weather out there.
Oh,
it's
I'm
strange
at Wembley.
for England. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, that's lovely. All right, Richard, give us your. You've given the prediction that we'll beat Newcastle at home. What do you reckon the scoreline will be?
2-1.
2-1, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Listen, I need a little bit more of your optimism. As anybody who tunes into the channel knows, I'm not exactly the most optimistic guy, but I really appreciate you coming on. Really appreciate the perspective.
Even though I'm working, it's fine, mate. I'll hopefully talk to you soon.
Awesome. We won't keep it for too long. Thanks, Richard. Really
That's
appreciate
right. Take care.
Listen, some positivity. This is what we like to see. This is what we like to hear. Yeah, I mean, I have real concerns about the Forest Southampton match tomorrow. If Forest win that match, then we absolutely have to get 3 points in one of our remaining 3 fixtures, or draw all 3, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I'm going to bring in Jason. Jason, welcome to the channel, bud. Nice to see you. I guess tell us where you're calling in from.
I'm calling in from California, bro.
Oh, nice. We're in California. I used to live in San Francisco.
Oh, dude, like I'm in SoCal, brother. Like I'm near the Riverside area.
All right. Are you an LAFC or an LA Galaxy fan then? No, we're not going to talk about MLS here. We can't do it. Connor would castigate me and destroy me, and I would never be able to come back. I guess talk to me about what you saw against Man City, bud. What do you think?
Classic Man City performance, I guess. You know, they dominated, and that's just how it's going to go. You know, you can't attack Man City. You're never going to be able to attack them. So all you could really do is hope that you don't get battered, and I think everyone at one Leeds Fan Channel thought that was going to happen. Or at least, I don't know about everybody.
Did. No, all of us did. Yeah. I think I was the only one to predict a goal, but I still had us like losing 7 or 8-1, something like that. So I do think we were a bit fortunate with Haaland, either intentionally or semi-intentionally, or just getting a case of the yips, blundering his chances. But we'll take the scoreline we were given. And I think you're right about you can't all out attack against a team like Man City. Every player on the pitch in every single position can pick you apart with inch perfect passes. I guess when we're going into the Newcastle match, it's a home game. What do you want to see from Leeds, and what do you expect to see?
Okay, so I'm the one in all the Leeds posts that keeps posting that I think Aronson should be played as a striker, mainly because I don't think he's good enough to be played as a 10. I don't even know why anyone sees him as a winger or a midfielder. He's not technical enough to do that. Leave that for someone like Nyonto, Sinistera, even Jack Harrison. I'm not a big fan of Harrison, but I'd rather play him on the wing than Aronson. Sure. Bamford is useless, and I've maintained that for a long time. Rodrigo's pretty good, but even then, he's very inconsistent, isn't he?
I think this is what I would say to that, though, is that Aronson gets played in those. I mean, he doesn't have the physical attributes. He can play a false 9, but I think if we put him up there with Big Sam ball, where the whole point is to play long ball and to hope to win the second ball or to play through the channels, I gotta say I love the unconventional thinking here, but I can't necessarily see Aronson being able to successfully do that in a Sam Allardyce system.
Well, yeah, you're right. And I guess this is always like, for me, Big Sam still, like, I haven't really seen him since the West Brom days, so it's been a while since I've seen Big Sam back in the Premier League. Right. The reason I think that is because I just think that if you want someone that's going to press the center backs, like, let's say we're up high up in the field, right? If you want someone to press the center backs, then, you know, Aronson's only goal has come from pressing the opposition goalkeeper or as well. So I think in the sense of, like, if you want to press the team, and I think if Newcastle could drop goals or could concede goals to Southampton, I'm pretty sure that we can get some goals here, especially with Nyonto on the wing, maybe.
Yeah. So I see your point there, that if we're going to play against weaker teams, weaker than Man City, not weaker than us right now. We're in the, in the bottom four. But I get the logic that if we're going to press high, and I think that's why we saw managers like Gracia persist with Aronson despite the lack of goal contribution, right? Is they like what he brings off the ball. Talk to me a little bit about, again, we have this match between Forest and Southampton happening tomorrow. If Forest win, that puts them 3 above us. Even if they get a point, that puts us in the relegation zone, and we have a more difficult schedule than they do. How worried are you about this match? How are you feeling about that one?
Man. It's concerning because ideally you want to get to this point of the season where it's all in your hands and nowhere else. But I'm genuinely concerned because if we drop points here, that's it. Like that's well, that's not it, but like it makes this hill to climb much harder. And
100%. So before we let you go, by the way, I love the views of the occasional Southern California sky. Give us the prediction for the Newcastle match. We're at home. Do you think we can get something out of that match?
2-1. I think we could win, just like the previous guy. I think 2-1. Okay. I think to keep Newcastle quiet, it's going to be a tough ask. But like I said, they've conceded goals to Southampton, and I don't know. I just seeing that 3-3 draw for them against, I don't remember exactly, but I genuinely think that we can win this match. If at the very least draw it 2-2, but I do think that we can hold on.
I love it. Jason, we appreciate you dialing in. Thank you so much. Really good to get another American on occasion as well. So really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, bud.
All right, bro.
All right, great. Love the optimism. So that's two call-ins in a row who think we can get something out of the Newcastle match. We're going to go to Alistair next. Alistair, how you doing, bud? Where are you joining us from?
I'm good, thank you. I'm from the south of England.
Nice one.
Very nice weather. So, yeah. It's all good.
Nice one. So tell me a little bit about what your thoughts were coming out of the Man City match.
It was better than I expected. And I'd optimistically said we'd win 3-1. So even with being extremely optimistic, I was still pleasantly surprised that the deficit was better than I'd anticipated.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How merciful do you think Haaland was on us? I mean, I know subconsciously he wouldn't actually miss, right? He's a professional footballer. But how much do you think he was like, oh, do I want to put this team? Do you think that factored in at all?
Oh, Calvin has paid him a bung, surely.
I just paid him off. I wonder if Connor got into the stadium and was dishing out some, I was about to say dollar bills, but they use pounds in England. See, I'm gonna get myself destroyed on this channel. So listen, man, talk to me a little bit about what you liked. Obviously Big Sam had them play very compact in our own area, tried to close down spaces, worked to a particular degree, but didn't quite keep the goals out. However, we did have chances, limited, but we did have some. Give me your assessment on the match and the tactics that were employed, and how you feel about going into the next 3 fixtures.
The game against Man City, you're never going to dominate the ball. You're never going to dominate them. That Man City side, in my opinion, should have been looking at an invincible season. They're that good. So to go there and expect anything is, it does happen. Obviously, Brentford beat them, but you can't expect to go to play against Man City, whether it's home or away, and try and impose your game. You have to be a bit more pragmatic and wait for the opportunities to come to them. That is their weakness. So the tactics were definitely right for the occasion. I don't like long ball to watch.
No.
I prefer it to play, but to watch, it's not as exciting anywhere near as exciting as what we've been used to recently. But not recently, but a few years ago.
Yeah, recently. I know what you mean. I'm going to try to go one content creation post without mentioning the name that everyone says I can't go through one period without mentioning. But yeah, we all know what you're talking about. So I guess take us into the Newcastle match. What are you predicting for that game? How do you think Leeds will do? We've got 2 positive predictions from 2 other call-ins. So interested to know your thoughts.
Newcastle have got something to play for, so it's not going to be easy. I think if the crowd get behind the team and we are cautiously pragmatic again, I think we can get something. I'm not quite as optimistic as the other two. I'm going to punt for a 1-1 draw. But I do think the fact that we are at home, I think there is something to be had there. And similarly for the other two games, I think West Ham, there is something to be had there. I believe they're still beating the Scum 1-0 at the moment. So if they win this game, they potentially could be on the beach and have nothing to play for by the time we play them, which would be an advantage.
I don't know if I ever buy. I know that some teams do, if they have not a lot of depth, they'll just play the kids. I don't know. I mean, David Moyes has had such a tough season, and he needs to keep those players sharp. I'm a little bit concerned, but
I just think sometimes if you've got a 50-50 tackle that you've got to go into,
maybe you don't do it.
You don't go in as full-blooded, and you just lose that little bit of an edge.
Right. Yeah.
I still think you turn up, you run the yards because you're a professional footballer, but it's just that little bit of grit and something just to win the game that I think sometimes is missing from that, rather than the actual effort. And I think when you're scrapping, that grit is going to be the difference between us getting points and not. So West Ham not having anything to play for potentially could work in our favour. Spurs, again, we'll see whether they've got anything to play for in terms of European positioning, how well or badly they do between now and then. But again, it's a home game. We've got something to play for. We'll get the fans behind us, and if we're difficult to break down and take some of our chances, why not? We can get something from the next 3 games potentially.
Love it. Alistair, really appreciate you calling in, my friend. Best of luck to you out in the south of England, where the weather's very, very temperamental. Where exactly in the south are you?
I'm in Hastings.
All right. I know Bristol, southwest, but I lived in Bristol for a couple of years.
Yeah, it's
a good place.
5 hours away.
All right, but I really appreciate you calling in. Yeah. I think it's all just one road, apparently. Thanks a lot, Alistair. We'll speak to you soon. All right. Listen, while we're taking a quick 30-second break, remember to like and subscribe. We have a Patreon as well. Connor's making all sorts of great content on that. We want to hear more fan opinions. We may switch up some of the questions, so we're not just getting the same type of feedback loop. But we're going to bring in Dylan here. Dylan, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I'm all right, man. Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Leeds.
I'm from Leeds. All right. Nice. I was just going to ask kind of a sketchy question about what neighborhood, because I did live in Leeds, but never mind. You don't have to answer that. We don't want people to come down and find you.
I'm more than happy to tell you, to be honest. Well, I don't know if anyone really knows it, but I live near Easton Park, basically centre of Leeds.
Nice one. Yeah, I was in Leeds in January, right around the time of the Brentford match. So yeah, good days. I had some nice weather as well. All right, I guess first things first, man. We've had one match on Big Sam, not even a full week of training.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I feel like if this were done back in January, if let's say we didn't bring in Yavi and we brought in Big Sam instead, I think there'd be a difference.
We'd probably be safe by now. In my estimation,
I feel like we would have got a couple of draws. I think we would have dealt with Leicester a lot better. I feel like some of the results, like Palace, for example, as well, I feel like we would have dealt with the teams, being able to consolidate the ball, keep possession maybe, and be more like problematic on the ball, like be able to do something. I just think Adams, without Adams, we're terrible.
Yeah, it's a big blow. It's a devastating blow. I know we focus a lot on what Tyler Adams can't do, and it's fair enough. I mean, we want to be critical of all our players, but just the difference of the cover for what's already a weak defense, it's night and day, isn't it?
I know. And then like bringing in players like Voba, only Voba can do so much to help that defense.
Yeah.
There are one or two players who I wouldn't say they've stepped up, but in essence they kind of have, like Firpo, for example. He's in a sense he has stepped up. He's improved the performances. Like it's weird. Like for example, Struijk. I have no confidence in him anymore. I feel like he's always got a mistake in him. Like that penalty against City, for example.
It's a borderline penalty, but I know what you mean. He's so hot or cold, isn't he? I mean, he's either
I wouldn't even say it's hot and cold. Ever since Cardiff, that first game against Cardiff, some I don't know what, but it's just gone totally.
Yeah.
Like, I think would that his first tackle against City? Like,
I think
if
so.
that's
I
his
think it was
first
his first
tackle,
foot in. Yeah.
if that's his first foot in and he's
Yeah.
conceding a penalty, I'm sorry, but that is not good enough. You
Yeah,
cannot
it's
be
hard.
doing that in the Premier League.
Yep.
We are now in the Premier League. Like, when fans going about Marcelo Bielsa and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
you broke our streak. We nearly went a whole day without mentioning Marcelo Bielsa. But no, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to mention him every time.
Yeah.
Legend.
But the thing is, though, like, with a lot of our fans, they bring him up a lot, and it's like,
yeah,
he was going to take us down. Like, there was no other way around it. You don't break a record of conceding so many goals in a single month and believe you're gonna like stay up and not concede goals anymore.
it just speaks to how weak the squad building was.
Totally,
You know,
totally.
and I think
that's the board's fault. That's
It is.
Radrizzani's fault. That's Orta's fault.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's like how he's on Twitter and so forth. Like, it's like, no, don't do that. That is not what for you to do. There's no point in doing that.
It's embarrassing.
Totally. It just makes us look shocking.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
Dylan, give us we've got 3 matches.
Yeah.
3 matches left. And I suppose we could, I know many other fan channels have mentioned that we could potentially stay up if we don't win or draw and we don't get any result. We could, but what do you think we actually need to get realistically? Personally, I think that Forest are going to beat Southampton, and that'll put us where we need to have 3.
Depends on which Southampton team shows up.
Yeah, it's true.
If that Southampton versus Arsenal team show up, I feel like it's a very close game.
Yep.
The only thing that worries me about the Forest Southampton game is if Danilo shows up for Forest, because he seems like he's a world beater at the moment. He's always stepping up to the plate for them at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think in our next 3 games, minimum for me is 46 points.
4 to 6 minimum.
46 has to be. I'm sorry, but we're fighting for survival.
So are you looking towards those Tottenham and West Ham results? Maybe a win against West Ham and a draw against Tottenham.
I could see us getting a draw against Newcastle.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not being funny, but we had Jesse Marsh against Newcastle.
Yeah,
and we got a draw.
0-0.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean, so
yeah, it's true.
If we can get a 0-0 there, and the way that Jesse plays isn't that defensively great,
right.
With Big Sam, who's now going to have a little bit more time with him. I just hope. All I'm doing is hoping and praying every weekend. To be honest,
that's what Brownie's trying to get Connor and I to do. To be fair to him, he's trying to get us to join him on the hopes and the prayers. Dylan, we appreciate you calling in, man. Really appreciate it, and thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, remember everybody, like and subscribe. What are your thoughts? We want to hear from you. We definitely want to hear about what your take is on this new Allardyce ball. It's not really new, is it? But Allardyce ball, new to Leeds United. So Jal, how you doing, my friend?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Where are you calling in from?
I'm in London. I live in London.
Amazing. Nice one, nice one.
But
a Leeds United fan, we'd love to see it.
Long time Leeds fan and a long time fan of the channel.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Talk to me. What did you think about the Man City match?
Well, I think
that says it all, doesn't it?
Most of us felt much better than we expected. I think I was expecting a real drubbing, 5-0, 6-0, and then we were in real trouble. Now we didn't get any points, but the difference between what we saw with Javi and the last days of Jesse was, I mean, we could see it on the pitch. There was a structure, and I think what I like about Sam is he's experienced, and I don't think he'll take any. Pardon my English. He won't take any shit from the players.
True.
And I think he'll be brave. Whoever he needs to drop, he'll drop. He dropped Meslier, which I think was needed, and I think he'll do the same with the other players. I think Bamford, he's not going to play. I mean, Bamford just drives me mad. I put in the chat. He's like a bouncy castle. The ball just bounces off him all the time. I mean, there is absolutely zero control.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Like, because he's not a target man. He's not a high efficiency striker of the ball in terms of he just doesn't score at a high efficiency, very low efficiency. I mean, Ninth in the Premier League in big chances missed, and 83rd in goals scored. I mean, that's a horrific ratio. With the Newcastle, it's a home match. It's at Ellen Road. Newcastle have just dropped points to Arsenal. What was a very contentious match. What do you see us getting out of that match?
I'm like some of the other people who've just been on. I think Alistair said 1-1. I was thinking like 2-2. I think we get a draw.
Really? Okay.
And I think Big Sam will set us up in a way that we can get a draw. Fingers crossed, legs crossed, arms crossed, everything crossed. I mean, if we get a point there, and then maybe we beat West Ham, and then hopefully if Tottenham are on the beach by then we get a few more points.
Let's hope. But Tottenham are the weirdest team in the Premier League. They get these massive results against good teams, and they drop what should be easy points for them. I guess in terms of, this is a question I've not asked yet. In terms of the players that we've got, because we have who we have, right? I mean, we can talk about Orta, and we have, and the lack of business done, and all this kind of stuff. We can we'll talk about it until we're blue in the face. Given the players we actually have, who do you think you can see an improvement from under Big Sam that maybe we didn't get under Gracia, or a player that you see stepping up that maybe we would expect, maybe we wouldn't expect them? Who do you see coming to, if we're going to stay up, who's going to save us?
I think Robles, our goalkeeper. I think he was good yesterday. Came in under such pressure, and I mean he did great. So I mean he made that one mistake. He dropped the ball, but he recovered very quickly. So I think Robles is going to be crucial for us for these next 3 matches. I think Nonto, he'll give Nonto more of a chance than Javi didn't give Nonto any chance, and Nonto could come into his own. And let's hope Rodrigo scores a few more goals for us.
That's my player to watch. I think Rodrigo's a real player to watch. I think that provided we don't get any more injuries on the back line, I think Max Fober coming back into the team is going to be huge. And I do think Weston McKennie does things that Big Sam, like he has a tool chest, an athletic tool chest that I think some of the other midfielders don't have. Yes. And if he's going to be, if we're going to be successful, he's going to have to play well. And I think Big Sam will hold him more to account than maybe a Gracia would.
Yeah. No, that's why I love all your fan channels, because you guys analyze these. I must admit, I don't see all this analysis. I just want us to win.
I think we all just want us to win. So we're all equal in that.
And I saw a lot of the comments saying McKennie played well because he was playing in the position he normally plays in, and I was like, great, if he plays well, that's all I want.
And I'm going to put an asterisk on well, because we had 18% possession the whole match. We lost 2-1. It was nice to not leak in a million goals, but it would be really generous to say that any of them played particularly well. Listen, before we let you go, give me your assessment of the last 3 matches, where you think we're going to get the points from to stay up.
So like I said, I think Newcastle we sneak a point. Okay. And then West Ham. I mean, Tottenham, we're at home to Tottenham, right? Last game of the season.
Yes. Yep.
Let's say we get a point against West Ham, and then we beat Tottenham at home. So love it. 1 point, and then 3 points at the end.
I will take 5 points in the next 3 matches. I will take them. Listen, really appreciate you calling in, Sajal. Make sure to call again when we do this again. Delightful to have you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
All right. More optimism from our fan base. I'm starting to think that maybe I'm out of step with everybody, but you know what? I'm happy about that. At the end of the day, we want to win. We want to stay in the Premier League, and that's what's best for us. We're going to bring Rob in next, but before we do, everybody, please remember to like and subscribe. We have a Patreon where content is being made by Connor at all times. Not at all times, let's be real, but a lot of great content is being made. Rob, welcome to the show. How you doing? Where are you calling in from? Yeah, I'm good, man. Where are you calling in?
I'm in Guernsey.
Oh, nice one.
The beautiful Channel Island of Guernsey.
Lovely.
Do you know it?
I lived in the UK twice. I'm pretending to kind of sort of know, but tell me whereabouts that is.
It's 15 miles off the French coast in the Bay of St. Malo. So they're British crown dependencies. I'm sure all the viewers will know where Guernsey is. It's sort of holiday destination offshore.
Is that why we see sunshine coming in? Because if you were in mainland England, it wouldn't be.
Yeah. Sorry, it's glaring off my bald head.
It's all right. It's all right. It's good ambient lighting. So talk to me a little bit about what you saw from the team this weekend and how you felt about it.
The main thing that struck me was the mentality of the team, and this comes from the manager. I had no hope of us staying in the Premiership with Javi in charge. You could see from the body language of the players, they've sort of thrown the towel in pretty much. That was what I was seeing.
I agree.
Sam Allardyce comes in, and I'm just loving the bluster. You can't come in and do half a job. You can't come in and say, well, we might stay up, we might not. He's gone full tilt, all in. He said he claiming to be as good as Guardiola and Arteta and Klopp. Brilliant. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. Absolute positivity. Because for me, we've got a situation where we've got 20% football, 80% mentality.
Mm-hmm.
The football will look after itself. If you've got a group of players who go on a pitch not believing they can win, they can't win. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And the belief comes from the manager. So I'm still dubious. I think the likelihood is we'll get relegated. But what I would say is that the element of belief that Sam Allardyce is bringing to the team and the squad gives me a 1% hope that we might do it. And that's really the basis of my call was that the mentality and the mindset that Allardyce has brought in almost instantaneously. He's been there for a week or so, or however what it is, and the change in the performance of the team from the last game, losing to Bournemouth, and the mentality and the mindset that they've got, obviously against Manchester City, was worlds apart. And that's what gives me the hope we might be able to squeeze something out of the last 3 games. Essentially, when the talks of Sam coming in with 4 games left, now he's got 3 games. The City game, we were never going to get anything out of. The measure of that game was, can we see a performance of the team which gives the fans and the collective hope that we might, we might just squeak this.
Yeah, 100%. I can't agree with you anymore. And even the margin too. Like I've been talking to Brownie and Connor for about a week now about this, that I'm not suddenly filled with the supreme confidence that we're going to stay up. Although if tomorrow Southampton somehow beat Forest, or Forest don't get any points, then I'll feel better about it. But Forest will be looking at all their fixtures saying this is the one we have to win or have to get something out of. Is it much more hopeful to be 5% more hopeful than having 0 hope? No, not really, but there is a difference. And I 100% agree with you. And I especially about, I think what Sam's done is he's taken the pressure off the team. Now everyone's talking about that soundbite. This is a veteran's move to come in and say something that is going to get Talk Sport and people going. That means they're not honing in on Robin Koch's performance. They're not honing in on McKennie. They're not honing in on Bamford. They're not honing in on Jack. I know we've talked a lot about the remaining fixtures, but what I want to ask you and get your perspective on before we move on to the next caller is, who do you think steps up? Who do you see in our player pool stepping up and making a real difference in the next 3 matches?
Robles is the obvious choice because he's now got a massive opportunity to prove how good he is. The great thing about Allardyce is that he's not the player's mate. He's the manager. He'll make the hard calls. He'll make the tough decisions. But ultimately, it's this is his reputation is also on the line here as well. He's been given a lot to do. He is now taken up the challenge to do it. In terms of individuals, Robles comes out for me. Voba I'm a massive fan of Voba.
Me too.
He shored up the defence as soon as he walked onto the pitch, which is but you can't do that individually. But the experience that Allardyce has in terms of setting up a defence and organising it with people like Voba, that gives me a little bit of hope. We've got to stop letting in goals. Who steps up? To me, it doesn't matter. It's a collective. I don't want to individualise and point to an individual and say, you've got to be better than the other guy. You've got to step up. For me, it's a collective. It's the 11 players playing with as if they're playing with 12 players. Do you know what I mean? It's more than the sum of their parts is what I'm trying to say. So I don't think it matters if you're pointing to individuals about who's stepping up. The collective is the step up. If Christensen and Firpo are looking across and seeing Voba play well, it lifts their performance. Equally, if Firpo sees Ayling play well, it lifts his performance. McKennie wins a tackle, the whole team go up. Rodrigo scores a goal or near miss, everything's lifted. It's a collective. It's not an individual issue for me.
It's a great point, Rob. Yeah, it's a great point.
It doesn't matter who steps up. They've all got to step up. Well, none of it.
Yep, 100%. Rob, we want to thank you for dialing in, my friend. I really appreciate it. And give us some of your parting words before we move on to the next
Listen,
call.
I love the channel, guys. I'm a really big fan. You and Connor and Brownie are just compulsive viewing for me, and I'm sure a lot of the other viewers will be the same. So keep up the great content. 3 weeks ago, somebody said Sam Allardyce is coming in. I would have laughed at you. Now I think it might just be a good idea.
Maybe I know.
I can't think of anybody else who would do a better job in the circumstances. I literally can't think of anyone.
He may not have been the hero we wanted, but he may be the hero we need.
You said it.
100%.
You said it. No, I'm just looking forward to the next 3 games.
Yeah, love it. Well, thanks, Rob. We really appreciate you calling in. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Want to remember everybody to please like and subscribe. We've had a couple people drop off here. I'm going to head over to Jason. Then we have the Bielsa stand coming in. Then we're going to move over to Taylor. Guys, I do see you. But before that, if you're curious about how to log in, how to call in right now, I'm posting the link intermittently, which is probably going to gunk up the social media feed, but that's okay. And yeah, just hang in. We will get to you. Yeah, we appreciate you calling in. Going to bring in Jason Taylor, named after a famous American footballer. No, just kidding. Jason, how you doing, pal? Where are you calling in from?
Hey guys, I'm from Derbyshire.
Oh, nice one.
Originally from Yorkshire.
Lovely, amazing. I guess talk to me a little bit about what you thought of the Man City game. I keep calling it the Man City game because it's hard to say the Leeds United game because we were barely in it. Let's be real. The scoreline was flattering.
Well, it was a free hit, wasn't it?
Mm.
You know, and to come out just losing 2-1, I think was, you know, probably the best scenario apart from getting a point, wasn't it? You know, we tried, but against a team like that, every team is gonna struggle. So I think losing 2-1 was probably the best scenario we could have seen.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you absolutely, especially given what I predicted. The only thing I would, and it's not really taking umbrage with you because you're not the only one to say this, I hate the concept of a free hit for Premier League footballers. I mean, millions and millions of pounds. I understand what you're saying. Like, let's not expect to get anything out of it, right? Fair enough. But the thing is that for anyone that's watched football for a long time, we know that sometimes results that seem impossible do happen. And I mean, thinking about this, like if that McKennie header is away from Ederson a little bit, we might have a 2-2 draw. So I'm curious to know, looking at our fixtures list, I think of the teams in the relegation zone and around it, we have by far the most difficult run of fixtures. We have Newcastle. Yep. We're lucky to play them at home. We have West Ham and we have Tottenham. Now that the Man City game is gone, that the free hit, so to speak, is gone, where do you see us getting points? And do you think we absolutely have to win, or do you think we'll be okay with a couple of draws?
To be honest, I think we could beat Newcastle.
Really? You're not the first or second or third to say that. There's a few that think it. Talk to me why. What do you see in the Newcastle team that leads you to believe that this team that's been on 30 points for what seems like an eternity can beat them?
I just think now with Sam coming in and setting us up a little bit differently, I think we can get at them. And I think the 3 in midfield is going to be crucial. I've been begging for that for months and months and months. Get 3 in midfield. We need that's where we're getting passed through constantly is the midfield. We haven't replaced Calvin. We haven't replaced Pablo. We needed players like that to play out from the back, and now we're not going to do that. So that bank of 3 in midfield is going to be essential now.
Yeah, and you sort of do think. I mean, I remember when we moved for the loan for McKennie, all we were thinking of was, that we're going to play a 4-3-3 with Adams in the hole, and we'll have Rocca and McKennie more advanced positions. Obviously, we never got to see that. We're seeing somewhat of an iteration of that with Forshaw now, albeit you know, not quite as good as Tyler Adams but he does do that job, and it has made us, at least in one match, I guess we'll see, more difficult to score against. In terms of and we've sort of said it with other callers already, that we have who we have player-wise, and we can talk until we're blue in the face about the board and all this kind of stuff, and it's all valid. It's the reason we're here. That said, is there anybody that you're looking at on that team sheet and you're saying, do you know what? I think this one's got a game in them, or they need to step up and do better if we're going to survive. Like one of my for instance is Jack Harrison, right? I mean, Jack Harrison has made a goal contribution in only 25% of our matches this season. The other 75%, he's been very poor. If he's going to turn up his kind of hot and cold meter now, I would like him to get hot now. And I think that could be a huge difference for us. What do you think? Who's your sort of player that needs to make a difference?
Well, Harrison's been that sort of player over the last four seasons, hasn't he? You know, he's brilliant when he's on it, and when he's not on it, he's not. You know, so if Harrison's going to play it, then he's got to be on it, and he's got to be on it for these last 3 games.
Yeah.
Nonto obviously he's brilliant. He can do what a lot of players can't, and we need him to be on it as well. So I think Harrison and Nonto, those are going to be the players, the go-to players over these next 3 games.
Yep, Jason, I'd love to hear it. Listen, before we let you go, give us your prediction on the on what we're going to actually get out of. What do you see the scoreline being in the Newcastle match?
I'll take a scrappy 1-0.
Listen, from your lips to God's ears. If there's a God, please make it.
I will take a scrappy 1-0 to us in the last 3 games, and that's us done.
If we keep a clean sheet against Newcastle, I may give 200 quid away to the first person that claims it on the next stream. I would absolutely love that to be
That's
the case.
That's me.
Jason gets 200 quid. You heard it here first. Jason, delightful to have you. Thanks so much.
Right, thanks, guys.
Yep. All right. Thanks to Jason. And listen, I would love to have a clean sheet. Can you imagine? I think that would be our second clean sheet, maybe our third clean sheet. I'm not sure. We haven't had very many. It's been a handful of them. Moving over to the Bielsa stand.
How's it going, Gabe?
Yeah, I'm good, pal. I don't want to just call you the Bielsa stand. What's your name again?
David.
David. Yeah, I've seen you on the channel a couple times. So welcome back. Where are you calling in from?
Bradford, so just down the road from Leeds.
Lovely, lovely Bradford, known for its clear skies, pristine beaches. No, I'm just kidding. So listen, pal, what did you think? I mean, obviously, for me, it was really tough viewing the first half. We knew it was going to be like this. We're up against the best team in the world. Their second team is probably a Champions League team. Just their second 11 coming in. When you can have a guy like Jack Grealish not be on and just them completely unfettered by it. Still not great to come away with only 19% possession. It's worse than any other team in the Premier League against Man City this season. But we all seem generally more positive. Why do you think that is?
I think because Sam has helped our defense, even though in the first half it was like 10 people behind the ball and that. It kind of worked, even though Mahrez did his thing and passed to Gundogan, scored 2 goals. But I can't really blame the keeper there because he wouldn't have saved it. So it's just unlucky on that behalf. But yeah, I think Big Sam knows how to do it. He's been here before. And I feel more confident, but I still think we're down, to be honest.
You think we're down? Yeah. So you see Forest picking up some points in the next couple games. You don't see it from us, huh?
No, yeah, I see Forest beating Southampton tomorrow night. I can't see Southampton winning. I mean, I like to think Southampton will win and help us out, but I can't see it. Like, they're obviously the worst team in the league because they're 20th. And then 3 tough games. Newcastle, very tough. I mean, they're third, aren't they, in the league? So I can't see Leeds picking up any points against them. West Ham away. If Jack Harrison can score another hat-trick, it'd be great. But
if Jack Harrison can show up, right? I mean, I was saying this to Brownie yesterday in our chat, right? It sounds like I'm being overly critical of Jack, but it's also kind of a compliment. There are plenty of inconsistent players in this league or in the game of football. Plenty. There are more inconsistent players than there are consistent players because the players that do it consistently go to top clubs, right? But I've never seen a player that when he's playing well is unplayable. just unplayable. You can't get anywhere near Jack when he's on it. But when he's not, and that's maybe 1 in every 4 games he's on it. Not even that. It's like he'll do 1 game and then 6 games stink, and then he'll do 1 game again. But when he's not on it, he's one of the worst on the pitch. And it's just so frustrating to watch. What do you think we get out of Jack over the next couple of games? Do you think do you think Superman Harrison comes back, or are we going to have average Jack?
Yeah, I mean, he obviously cares about the club. He obviously is invested in this team. He's been here a while. Do I think he'll turn up? Probably not, because I don't think I've seen it enough this season or over the last few years he's been here. And it's annoying because we gave him the contract, obviously, and he hasn't been up to par. Same with Pascal. We gave Pascal a contract in December or whenever. And then since that Cardiff game, he hasn't been the same, obviously, giving Man City a pen yesterday. But I like for Jack to do well because I like him as a player, but I just don't see him being a Premier League player, unfortunately, because he's not that consistent, as you say.
Somebody will spend the money on him because they'll look at the moments where he plays well and they'll say, "Oh, that's our guy." But yeah, I mean, I would almost prefer a pedestrian Premier League footballer who does it every week and gets those same modest returns.
Right.
Because when he's not contributing, he adds like nothing. It's almost, I mean, he has one of the worst pass completion rates of any Premier League winger. And I know that some people will nitpick certain stats, and it's easy to make a player look good or bad. But I mean, for me, it's one of those things where he gets me so excited when he plays well. I'm like, we have a world-class player on our hands. And then it's just dire. Talk to me about the fixtures we have left. I know you think that we're down. If we're gonna get any results, where do we get them?
Spurs at home. I think Spurs at Ellen Road, the fans will be up for it. I think Spurs have been shocking in the last few games. Obviously, Conte's been sacked, and then the interim manager's been sacked, and now they have Ryan Mason. So, if anything,
his lucky day, Ryan Mason.
Exactly. So, if anything, I see Leeds picking up a win against Spurs. I do, but I think we'll only get 3 points. I think West Ham are tough. West Ham are doing well, obviously. As I say, Newcastle are having a fantastic season. So I see us winning 3 points, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough because Forest, as I say, will win 3 points tomorrow and they'll probably pick up a point. And I think it'll be very close. Between 17th and 18th. But at the beginning of the season, I predicted Leeds to be 16th or 17th because I've said Leeds United have signed quantity players and maybe not quality. And unfortunately, it's been the case.
I can't. I would argue we signed neither quantity nor quality because you would have thought, hey, let's just bring in a couple more, like another left back or whatever the case may be. But listen, it's hard to fault your assessment there. I think you're right. The buying windows were shambolic in both ways. I think we were lucky to have a player like Max Fober come in. I think a bit of business for Tyler Adams we were lucky to get. He's not playing for us right now. So it is what it is. Listen, David, we really appreciate you calling in. Good friend of the channel. Thanks so much. I guess give us your thought on tomorrow's match again, the Forest and Southampton match, real quick before we let you go.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 2-0. I think you know what, look, Lingard will turn up and score a hat-trick probably. And then
I will have seen everything if Jesse Lingard crawls out of his retirement and somehow manages to play well. No, you're right. I sort of am wired to feel like we'll get the bad luck, but maybe that's just sort of being a long-suffering Leeds fan. Listen, David, really appreciate you coming in, and thanks so much for dialing in, pal.
Cheers. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Oh, Taylor, you know what? We'll go to Taylor right away. I was going to give you a bit of an intro, but our last caller of the day, Taylor, where are you calling in from, my friend?
Leeds.
All right. Nice one, man. I guess talk to me a little bit about how it feels to go through a carousel of managers and now to have Big Sam. And let's be real, the only reason we have him is because we're in dire straits. It's a desperate situation. How are you feeling right now?
It's same old Leeds, to be honest. You know,
yeah, it is, isn't it?
You look at all the, I'm not going to say, well, poor managers that we've had. now when we got a masterclass in Bielsa,
Mm-hmm.
and then after 4 seasons, it all went dire because of the way we played, and he stuck to his morals. But I thought Marsh was a dodgy managing signing, because if you look at it from all the jobs, he's always been sacked every time.
Well, not at Salzburg, but you're right. At Leipzig, he was, and that was the bigger job, right?
Then obviously Marsh had to go because the results just were not good enough. Then Garcia, and to be fair, I was one of those fans thinking he's Premier League proven, especially with a poor team from Watford.
Yeah.
And he got them to a cup final, but that I think to most of these fans got into their head thinking, oh, he's going to get a masterclass. And to be fair to him, he got a good amount of points. Then ever since the last 3 points, it was shocking.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to argue that. I mean, I think so. I went through, because I like to do these weird things, I went through and watched as many matches as I could over, and there were so many matches under Marsh where we would have the lion's share of chances and we just couldn't put it away. And then we would just be weak in the back on a set piece or on a big switch, just get cut open, cut like a cake. I think where I'm happiest about with Big Sam is he's going to focus on the fundamentals, on defending set pieces and executing set pieces. I know it's not fun or glamorous, especially after we've had, that period under Bielsa, we were playing excellent football. Is it difficult as a Leeds fan to, adjust to that sort of difference where before it was kind of aspirational, stylized football? Now it's the definition of pragmatic. Or are you just happy to potentially have a stay in the Premier League?
I could not care for the football. I just want us to stay in the Premier League. It's where we belong. I mean, you look at teams like Bournemouth, who are, no offence to the club, they are nowhere near as big as Leeds historically or where they are now. But I'm happy that Sam Allardyce is in because I have been thinking like we need some of these older managers who not be so happy with the players like Marsh were. He could talk the talk, but he couldn't, get the points. And he was always looking for positives. And with Big Sam, I know if we did something wrong, let's say Cooper gave away a stupid penalty, which he usually does. Big Sam will be on him. He'll kick him out the arse, and he'll give him a bollocking for it. And that's
I put a poll up. I put a poll up on Twitter asking who people would have, and as a laugh, I put John Sitton, and some people voted for him. He got 15%. Imagine the bollocking he would have given people. Listen, over the next three matches, we've got Newcastle at home, we've got West Ham away, and then we have Tottenham at home. What do you think we get out of these next three matches?
Newcastle, I can see a win, because yes, they might work. I don't know what to say. I forgot the words. They really, not only do they put the pressure on, but they outwork every team they play. Because how we play now, it's always 10 men behind the ball, so that hopefully that leaves them wide open.
Yeah.
And we can use the pace from Nonto and Harrison, and hopefully not Bamford, because he's. I don't want to call him a footballer. I think he's a fraud, but.
I think it's hard for Patrick, right? Because listen, I've many times on the debrief made my opinions about Patrick Bamford extremely well known. What I will say is this style of football certainly doesn't suit him. I mean, the whole idea, if you're going to pack 10 men behind the ball and try to dispossess them in the box, you're looking for someone to run the channel on the side that you've dispossessed it. And he just can't do it. Like, he just doesn't have legs.
I know his legs are made of biscuits. I swear, man. One game they're all like rock solid. Next minute, he's either done his ankle in, he's pulled a muscle, and he's out for 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And he comes back again, and I think, especially for Bamford, he had that one great season. I'm thinking
the fact that Bielsa pulled that out of him. What a
magician!
Made him
into an England international. And then you look at Phillips, who was, when he was still at Leeds in his early start of his career, who was absolutely god-awful. Then Bielsa changed him into a deep-line playmaker, and he absolutely revolutionised him. Then, obviously, Bamford, less said on him. I just hope that Sam Allardyce can absolutely bring out the best in this team, and he's got up the morale as well. He's brought the morale. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to get any worse, right? I think what I really hope, obviously, I know the American players really well, having watched them, at their clubs and internationally. What I really hope Big Sam does is he sits down McKennie for a beer and a bean pie and just says, "Look, man, for the next 3 matches, we need you to be that bastard that you are for the USA. And if you never come back here again, that's fine. But we just need you. We need you to do a job over the next 3 matches." Listen, Taylor, give us a scoreline. You've already kind of predicted the Newcastle match. What do you think happens with the Southampton and Forest match? Because I really think that has a lot to do with our fate. I think that if Forest win, and they have another winnable match as well, they play Crystal Palace the last game of the season, we could be in a lot of trouble. What do you see happening in that match?
I can see Southampton winning, definitely, especially with a player like Ward-Prowse's ability in that.
Yeah.
Under 21s team, to be fair. Then you look at Forest. They're not a great team. Yes, they've splashed the cash. Yeah, they've bought these players and all that, especially like Felipe and Keylor Navas. I still not understand how he's gone there. And all they do is
he may save their season, though. I mean, honestly, the difference between an Ilan Meslier and Keylor Navas, it's like comparing apples and sand. One's not even fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, I can see Southampton winning, to be fair, because Forest are not a good team. They've just got one of the best top 10 keepers in the world. That's just it.
Yeah. Well, I hope they do it. If Southampton find a way to win, I'll feel much more secure about our prospects staying up. Listen, Taylor, we got to run here. We're coming up on an hour, but we really appreciate you dialing in, and please call back again.
Yeah, well, yeah. Cheers for having us.
All right. Good deal, Bill. All right, everybody. We're going to wrap it up here. We're running for just about 57 minutes here. But listen, love to hear all the optimism from you all. Not something I expected, but I'm pleased to hear it. And listen, if that's any indication on how we'll perform or how the fans will show up at Ellen Road to take on a very, very good, right now in a Champions League slot, Newcastle United team, then great. That'd be fantastic. But I'm going to talk to Connor a little bit. We're going to see about bringing this back more regularly. I think maybe weekly might be a big ask, but maybe bi-weekly. It's going to depend on some of your feedback. So please like and subscribe and leave your comments in the comment section below. We always want to hear from you. We always want to be bantering and dialoguing. You can find us on Twitter as well. Oh, I had a little spittle on my lip. That's gross. Can't edit that. It's live. Thank you very much, everybody. And as always, thank you for tuning into the channel. Bye-bye now.